Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, today we are going to talk about something, and this is a little fortuitous. In fact, if the AP would just catch up on this channel, they'd know some things 3 months in advance. But the AP confirmed a video that we did on March 20th, and I'm going to talk about it in depth in 1 second. Now, if you've been following this week, we've had a lot of videos based around the executive action dictates, essentially, right? You got executive actions that came down from Biden that went to the DOJ, and then they started doing rules on pistol braces. We still got to cover a video about the extended red flag law, like outlines that they put together. We talked about Colorado. They're putting forward a lot of new bills that are going to be signed by the governor, most likely, especially around preemption. And those are negative aspects of the fight that we're in, but we've had a lot of wins. And today we're going to talk about something which is a deep-seated win, because this right here is impactful, and it speaks to you, it speaks to us, and it speaks to the power that we have as individuals working together in unison in a common direction. It's incredibly powerful, and without much more further ado, I've got it linked in the description box below. It's a really good article to read. It's from the AP. Here's the title. NRA's gun rights message not slowed by legal or money troubles. Now, if you've been watching the channel, by the way, let me know in the comments below if you remember this video we did. We did it on March 20th. The video that we did is on the screen right now, and it was titled, Dems Think the NRA is Dead and the Second Amendment is Doomed. You can go back and check it out. It's a really, really popular video, but the whole premise was all around this concept that the AP is now touching on. And guys, this is the big thing, but let's dive into it. So, the liberals have cheered the highly public legal and financial jeopardy ensnaring the National Rifle Association, seeing the gun lobby's potential demise as the path to stricter firearm laws. Now, just to give you a brush-up primer on that video that I did previously and catch up where we're at, the left really focuses on groups. They put everyone in buckets into demographics, and then they kind of go macro outwards. They never go micro inwards because they're not about the individual, they're about the collective. They are the collectivist side of the American political system. They see groups, they see unions, they see racial, sexual, all the different groups you can put somebody in, they see them as groups and entities to pursue. They don't see them as individuals. For example, on the right, on the left, you've got Planned Parenthood. On the right, you've got NRA. You've got Right for Life. You've got all these different organizations, but they all see them as entities, which is why they attack the NRA so hard, because they think that is us. The secret, and you and I both know, is everything is an individualized basis, and they cannot stop and stamp out the root of the Second Amendment because it's not based at the NRA, it's based with you and I. It's in our principles, it's in our values, it's part of a blessing of the Bill of Rights. It's the Second Amendment, and that's what we're talking about here, and they just don't get it. But they're starting to catch on, but they're still thinking it's the NRA. Check this out. But it turns out, the NRA's message has become so solidified in the Republican Party that even if the organization implodes from allegations of lavish spending and misuse of funds, its unapologetic pro-gun point of view will live on as the heated debate increasingly shifts from Washington to the states. Now, that fighting shifting from the Washington to states is something we're covering every day on this channel. That's why we do what we do, because it's a state, local level, because federal is frozen right now. But they're still trying to persuade you in the verbiage and the layout of these paragraphs I'm reading to you. They're very negative towards the NRA. But they still pass along the idea of the Second Amendment and the idea of self-reliance utilizing firearms, which is ingrained in our heritage, as an NRA ideal, not an American ideal. That's where they're getting it wrong. And I'll flat out tell them they're getting it wrong because it's ingrained in us. Our freedom, our desire to not be tread upon, don't tread on me, Gadsden flag, is ingrained, it is innate, and it will not be stamped out. And that's the thing they don't get, guys. And we are not alone, and we are a much more powerful force than you think we are. Now, the NRA built up an impressive mountain of power over the course of 40 years, and despite their recent fall from grace, that power doesn't disappear overnight. Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat Connecticut, said in an interview. Now, why did I read that quote? Well, if you go back and watch the other video, in that other video, I read a quote from Senator Chris Murphy, who was literally saying, the NRA is dead, it is gone, it's the weakest it's ever been, now's our time, seize the moment, come on Biden, you can do it, rah, rah, right? Now he's changing his tune. It's almost like he recognizes that he's not working. Just saying, guys, we're making a bigger impact than you know. All right. And to kind of wrap all the quotes up in this article, this is a really good one from Jordan Stein, Communications Director for the Gun Owners of America. This is actually really well said. Gun rights, the Second Amendment, and the right to keep and bear arms is bigger than any organization. That is absolutely correct. The left does not understand that, and that is why they cannot seem to make headway. They do it on individual state levels, and even in this article it says 40 out of 50 states are pro-gun, but 10 are not. And the only reason they have a bigger say is because they have most of the population. That is pretty accurate. But the big thing that I want to leave you with here, guys, is the AP is starting to get it. They still think gun rights are an NRA ideal, not an American ideal, and that's the big thing. Because you and I both know this is as American as apple pie. This is something that will be with us, and we will pass this blessing along to the Second Amendment. Guys, we are only 6 months into the fight. In 2021, we've got 3.5 years more of this. But the next steps that we're taking is make sure we are aware, make sure we are spreading out information, and we are motivated, because 2022 is going to be epic, and I'm going to show up and you guys are going to show up because I know this is important to you. Override any kind of fear that you have, and if you think there is something that's nefariously going on, show up in greater numbers, make it even harder and more obvious. I'm just saying, guys, we have amazing numbers and an amazing drive behind us, and you are not alone, and I'm right here with you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and until tomorrow, I'm Braden. See you later.